Hi guys, Adele here with our new video series, which is How Does It Go? Okay, and the first thing we're gonna look at how it goes is the squat. So what is a squat? Body weight movement for the legs. All you have to do is put your hip back. Okay, we're not going down, we're going back. So I push my hip back, and you can see that as I do that, my shoulders and my knees come forward. And that is all the squat is. So the hip goes back, the abdominals lift to support the lower back, the knees and shoulders go forward, the chest is still up, relatively speaking, and that is my squat. Why is it so difficult? So there's a couple of things that can go wrong in the squat. First thing is just wanting to sit down. If I try to sit down, look what happens. I'm thinking, I need to go down, so I start to push my knees and the weight comes into the ball and it comes out of the heel. So if you notice when you're squatting that you're not coming into your heel, that your heel is lifting up, you're trying to think about going down instead of thinking about pushing back. The downward comes from that backward action. So there's number one fix. We want to squat into the heels. We want to push out of the heels. So we're going to sit back. Another thing that gets in the way of the squat is where to put the legs. Okay, now we're not too bothered in AST. What we want though is for you to be able to hit range, which we're going to talk about in a moment. And so for most people, the closer the legs are, the less space in the hip joints to allow you to sit back and get deeper. So we're just saying from hip width, a bit wider. And for most people, this is going to be a nice spot to be able to allow the hips to really flex down to let you sit back. Feet, we don't want to do daffy duck. If we go straight, we're possibly going to get some knee wobble. So we're just going for a little turnout. Now here's something else that tends to go wrong. The knee wobbling. Okay? It will often be one and it might be on the way up or it might be on the way down. And if you can just squat in front of a mirror, you can check this yourself. So what we want to have happen is the knee to track over that light turnout on the toes. Guys, this is very general advice. We bring the weight into the heels, we keep the chest up, we let the knees come forward over the line of the toes, and then we push the ground away. So we can look down and check, we can look in a mirror and check how those knees are tracking. If it is wobbling, it's usually a weakness in the glute, but that's a longer video, so we can go into that another time. Here's the other main one. It's the chest squat. So I might do this and think that I'm going down, so I'm squatting and I'm doing great. I'm not. You can see what's happened. I've actually tilted my chest and I haven't really sat my legs. So it's from the squat, that is the chest squat. We want a leg squat. So we're going to really make sure, again, that the chest stays up. As soon as you notice that your chest is facing the ground, you need to think, oh, hang on. A shortcut for this, take the arms back, okay? Squeeze the shoulder blades together. It's kind of make it a little harder to tilt that way. So we might be able to think more about keeping that chest up. So the chest is up and I come and sit back. In terms of how you're working in relation to the ground, we want to sit majority into the heel. Let's say 60 to 70% of your weight into the heel. The other 30 to 40% is distributed between the ball of the foot and the base. Just at where the little toe meets your foot, you've got like a triangle from the heel to the ball and the base of that foot just under where the little toe connects. So I've got a little triangle and I'm just going to balance myself, roll through my feet, sit back into my heels, and as I rise up, I'm thinking of pushing the ground away. Now, why is range of motion important? Okay, Hardman's always banging on about it. Skylar's always banging on about it. It's because the principles of exercising muscles is that two things have to happen. We have to lengthen them and we have to shorten them. And the more we can lengthen a muscle, and we'll talk about the glute in this situation, the more I'm lengthening my glutes, the shorter my hip flexors are going. This is the opposition in this situation from the hip. Okay, if I squat here, how much do you think I've shortened my hip flexor? How much do you think I've lengthened my glutes? Well, not a huge amount, okay? Now, if I want to work my butt, I want to get nice firm butt, I'm gonna need to let all of this get longer. So as I go lower, just think about the mechanics. The hip flexor is getting shorter, the glute is getting longer. That glute muscle is getting a better workout, okay? So this is why we wanna get sitting back at least around the hip. This is great, okay? If we can go lower, that's okay as long as we don't start to have this happen. All right, so we don't want to round that under. We can only go as low as I can keep the chest up and drive the hip back. Belly button sucking in, sit back, drive up. Joints move well when the muscles around them allow them. When the muscles around them can lengthen and shorten to enable the movement. Not only do we want to have great range of movements because we want to have lovely, lean, strong muscles, but also because we want to have healthy joints so that our legs can carry us comfortably for our life. So this is another great reason to squat well. So let's get out of this and let's start to get more into this. That's some basics. Let's just do a quick checklist. Feet, hip width or wider. Hips, back. So we sit back, chest and knees come forward, counterbalance. Every time I sit down, it's an abdominal workout. I'm gently lifting my belly button to my spine to ensure that my lower back is pain-free, that the vertebrae have space. Chest stays up the whole time. Majority of the weight into the heel, knees, just tracking that little bit forward and out over the toes. So if we've got those things going on, we've probably got a pretty sweet squat to start with. Guys, if that's enough for you, perfect. If you are having issues with the range, you're doing everything Adele said and it's not quite working, we just need to talk about hip, knee, ankle. These three joints need to be able to shorten, to flex, and lengthen, to extend. If any of those 3 points are not able to operate effectively, you're going to have a compromise in your range of motion, in your ability to sit back. So a very basic thing that you can do is to work on the wide, low squat. It might look like this, okay, to start with. This might be where you're at, okay? Maybe it's looking more like this, okay? So maybe my heels are off the ground and my weight is forward in my hands. That's okay. From this position, look, I can stretch my calf and my Achilles one at a time. I can roll my knees forward and out, and I can get into all three of the joints that I need to be able to flex and extend to do my squat. Ultimately, we'd love to be able to sit here. I can read the news here, I can do my emails here, I can sit on social media here, I can watch TV, I can pat my cat. Okay, a lot of things that you can do in this position. So this is a position that we would like to find comfortable. When we can do that, we know that all those joints are moving really well. Now guys, I hope that's helpful. If you have specific questions, feel free to put them in the comment section and I can come back to them on another video. Thank you for listening in.